Hello, welcome to the Sloan Zone. Guess what? Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 1 came out yesterday. I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty excited. As everybody knows, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. My office is covered with their maps, as you may have noticed, books, all that jazz. So this is pretty exciting because we're now moving on past the point in the books. I've read the books multiple times and loved them, of course. I'm really still excited to see when the book comes out because I'm sure it'll be different, as the TV show kind of went various weird paths in Season 5. Were they just jumping ahead of stuff that we didn't know is going to be in book 6, or what? I don't know. So I'm excited for that. But this episode, I did a little post on my blog, justinmsloan.com, www.justinmsloan.com. Check it out if you're curious. I also last week did a little post on creative writing career where I was talking about chapter 1 from the first book, Game of Thrones, first book in this Song of Ice and Fire series. So if you're curious about this kind of stuff, there's go check it out. So I did a little analysis that was basically, not analysis, I was just like, hey, what I thought. And mostly I thought that Davos was awesome. I thought that whole thing with Jon Snow and what's going on with getting revenge for him, amazing. I definitely don't believe he's dead. There's no way in heck. What's the theory? The R plus L equals J, love that theory. I think it's genius. I think a lot of us were like, yeah, that's what happened. And then they came up with the theory and we were like, yeah, that's definitely what happened. So we're looking forward to that. Today I watched, I guess they're doing a little thing on HBO that's like the day after or the next day, or maybe they did it yesterday, I don't know, but after the episodes. And they were talking about same idea. They thought Davos was pretty awesome. They're excited to see about Jon Snow. So it's not, is he coming back? It's how is he going to come back? And that's what's exciting. Will the Red Woman be the one that does it? It's weird. They named the first episode the Red Woman, and she really had nothing to do with the first episode. We saw her as an old person, but whoop-de-doo. Who cares? So I don't know. You have to think, well, that's got to be setting it up for something, right? So when and how is he going to come back? That's going to be exciting. I can't wait. More on the news of what's going on with me as an author. My series, the third book in the Falls of Redemption trilogy, Tears of Devotion. Pretty excited. I'm at the 25,000 word mark. I've outlined the rest of it in pretty good detail. Not crazy detail, but enough to get me to where I know I need to go, and that's exciting. So it's about 30 or so chapters right now, which I think is about average for what I do for those books. They usually end up being around 80,000 words. We'll see. I tend to write much more, terse now, like skim. I go really fast on everything now. I'm much more on, I've started screenwriting since I wrote the first 2 books, and that's really taught me to focus much more on structure. And if something's not 100% in that lane, then I'm going to take it out. So we'll see how this book goes. If I meander at all like I did in the first 2, I'm trying to force myself to stay in the same frame of mind as I was when I wrote those books, which was, I wrote them. My 16-year-old brother, he didn't really read. I was like, I want to write something that he'll read. He's not 16 anymore, but that's the point. It's fun fantasy, action, epic fantasy, kind of dark fantasy at times. Not too hardcore on the fantasy. As I've explained before on this show, the Sloan Zone, I kind of started writing that because I thought Game of Thrones is awesome. Let's have that, but with less magic. And that's what I did. That said, book 3 might surprise you a little bit. Not because it goes crazy with fireballs and wizards or anything like that. It does not. But it gets some stuff in there, so you'll see. Stay tuned. I look forward to talking with you more soon.